Hey guys, it's Tun from 12 Mods. As you can see, this is the long-awaited video that you guys have been waiting for. Project trx4 two-door Chevy is pretty much done. It actually runs and drives. Body's been painted. Truck runs amazing. Took it out a week ago for its first maiden trail run, and I had no problems with it at all. It took everything I threw at it. I submarined the truck. I threw it through mud, everything, and it just took it. It just went through everything. It climbed everything. I didn't have one problem with the truck at all. The only thing that really happened was the body kept on popping off because the cab is actually on with earth magnets. So it just popped off very easily because I don't have any rock sliders on it yet. I gotta build those still because I can't just buy store-bought ones because they don't fit the body. Well, because as you can tell, these trx4s don't come like this. Now, I'm going to answer this again. The body is a Chevy body from a New Bright toy RC truck, which is no longer made anymore, unfortunately. These bodies are kind of sought after, and they're very hard to find, but they do pop up once in a while. So when they do, I usually just jump on them and grab them just because I love this body style. This is my favorite body style of all pickup trucks. That's why I have the two-door. That's why I have the crew cab. And I have another project, which is Project Bagger. And I have another secret project that has the same body, but it's not going to be a pickup truck. It's going to be something totally different. So it's going to be one of a kind. It's a scratch build. But other than that, you guys are just going to have to wait on that one. But I have finally pretty much finished one of the trucks out of all those trucks. So let's get into details with this truck. The wheels are 155s. So they're the actual SSD Type D wheels with Pitbull Growler tires. I am running some RC four-wheel drive 110 millimeter shocks on this. I can't remember the brand they are, but they're a two-stage spring. So it's got the main spring and then it's got a helper spring on it, just in there, as you can see. Chassis is pretty much stock. Axles are pretty much stock. Transmission is pretty much stock. I didn't have to do any upgrades to those because I didn't need to. This truck runs very, very capable of how they are, but I am still going to be changing a bunch of things on this truck. Front bumper. This front bumper is actually from RC four-wheel drive, and it's one of the RC four-wheel drive tough bumper for the RC four-wheel drive K5 Blazer body. It's the upgraded bumper for that body. It actually fits the truck very, very well. This little lip right here that is added here is actually styrene that's actually been added to the body, because when you cut the stock plastic bumper off, that whole entire lip is gone. So I actually had to extend it to actually fit the bumper. That's the only modification I have done to the cab. As you can see, everything else is stock. I don't have the front lenses in. They still need to go in, and I don't have my side running lights or my turn signals in the front yet. I'm still building that, but the rest of the lighting system's pretty much in the truck. That's the latest thing I have been working on with this truck, so I will show that off. Rear links, just to let you guys know, the rear links are still the custom threaded rotted links that I made just to test the truck. Now that I'm happy with how the suspension works and everything, and the lengths of the links and all that, all the links, the front rear links are all coming off. Even the steering links are all coming off and getting custom made medical, like stainless steel medical grade steel links made to get the extra weight that I need, because I don't want to put like brass all over this or anything like that. I kind of like how it looks all black and everything. So that's what I did. Now the body is two pieces. The box is actually bolted to the chassis, and it actually is its separate piece from the cab. So when I need to do any work or anything like that, I can just pop the cab. But for now, let's just look at what I did to the box. So let me spin this. So as you can see, it's flipped open. It's all covered and it's all styrene. So I dropped the floor just so I can throw stuff in here if I wanted to. And the rear shocks come through, just like a desert truck style shock. Now the rear shock tower is custom made, so it gives it different height and everything else. It's not the stock TRX4 shock towers at all. This is a custom made shock tower that I built and everything out of aluminum and that. So right now these little spacers and everything and bolts and all that is just temporary because, again, I didn't run this truck for over a year, so I never tested it. But now that I have tested it and the truck runs really well, I will get these spacers all made, custom machined and everything. So they're just a little sleeve, like a spacer in there instead of these nuts in that. So that will all get made later on. I do have a voltmeter for the LiPo that actually works and everything, and this is an on and off switch. So this is a service switch and the power switch. So what I mean by that is if I push this forward, it activates all the servos, but the ESC is not activated. So that means the truck won't move or anything like that. So if I need to work on any of the servos, the steering servo or anything like that, it will actually activate those and have power to them. So I can actually test them and make sure they're all good without the truck taking off on me on the desk or anything like that. And then when I pull it back, it actually will activate the whole system, and actually the truck will actually work normal with the ESC. So I just did that. So now that you've seen the back, we're going to spin this around. The only lights that I have on this truck right now are the taillights are actually fully functional. It has the regular running lights on the back, brake lights, turn signals, reverse lights, and the other thing is I actually have a license plate light. So when I put the new rear bumper on, the license plate will actually shine too. On the front, I have my low beams, high beams, and then this is my light bar. The reason I put it in the grill is because I didn't want to put it on the top of the truck. I thought with these trucks here, putting a light bar on it, it would have looked really bad. I didn't want that look. It's just a really bad look. I didn't want that. I wasn't happy with how it would have looked. So that's why I put it in the grill. So the light system, the whole light system and everything else, it's on its own separate power source, which actually runs off a 3S LiPo. So this light bar is 12 volts, but all of these here and everything else is actually just a regular LED 6-volt system. So I'll show you the whole electronic system for the light system and that too. Now the only thing I'm going to show you in this truck is the whole light system is actually controlled off my cell phone through a Bluetooth app. So I can actually turn the high beams, low beams, light bar on, and any other accessories that I have hooked up to that module. But as right now, I'm not going to do that demo because I'm actually on my phone. So another evening, I'll steal the wife's cell phone to do a video or something like that, and then I'll show you a demonstration on that. So I will make another video for that. For now, let's pop the body off here. As you can see, it just comes off with magnets. And then I'm just going to disconnect it right now, because if I don't, I won't be able to get it off. So I'll just flip it up like this, and there we go. So what you see here is the full electronic system for the light system. So it is a Bluetooth system that is actually designed with an Arduino to actually for my switching system, plus a custom 12 volt and 6 volt converter. So I used a 6 volt BEC, and this is a switched power source system. So what happens is, this is my 3S LiPo here, which is just Velcroed in the front here. I haven't made a mount for it yet, but I will later on, because I just finished this system about 2 days ago. So I was just doing some testing. Yes, this whole system is waterproof. I don't have the lid on it because I was testing, but when I put the lid on it, it will be fully sealed and everything else. All these ports and everything have been epoxied in and sealed too, so they're all waterproof. I have submerged it in water, and I left it for 3 days in water, and not a speck of water was inside of it at all. So I'm very happy with that. So as you can see, there's some ports here. These ports are open because I can actually add more lights to this. I am going to be putting rock lights on this truck. I'm going to put some other lights and everything else too. But this is all just for my light system. So this plug here actually has the ground and all the power sources for the lights. So for my high beams, low beams, and my light bar. And then there is another channel in there, but it's not used right now. So I just can pull it out of the shielding and hook it up. But for now, I don't have it hooked up. So on the side here, this green plug here is actually the plug for the actual taillights. So all the taillight wiring comes out there and it comes in here and plugs into this. The reason why I did this is if I ever have to take the box off, I can just unplug it. Same with that. That's for my switching system and everything else. So the box can be unplugged and there we go, no problem. This wire here, right here, is actually the signal control wiring harness that actually goes to the receiver. So that gives my signals for my steering and for my throttle for the brake lights, the tail lights, and for the turn signals and that. Plus, there's a third channel that's in here that actually goes off to this receiver, and then I use a switch on my controller to turn the power source on and off for this unit. So I can turn it on and off. So it's not on all the time. I can turn it on and off with my controller, which is really, really nice. So if I'm not using my lights, I just turn it off. But once I turn it on, all the tail lights will come on and everything else. And then when I want to use my headlights and everything, I just connect to Bluetooth and I just turn on and off with my lights. But I will do a demonstration video on that another time. So onto the truck. The truck here, as you can see, I have a winch. It actually is inboard that runs with the receiver. So I actually have another channel that actually controls it with the RC four-wheel drive winch controller. So it's not the wireless remote one. This is the one where you actually use a channel to control it. This is actually going to be getting removed. I am actually replacing this with an actual waterproof brushed ESC. So it's variable speed to the winch. I like it. It did work and everything great and everything else, but it wasn't strong enough for my application because this is a pretty heavy truck. So that's why I am going to be switching it to a brushed ESC. So I'm probably going to put like a little hobby wing or something like that, something small that is waterproof, that is for brushed. So that's how I'm going to use it for the winch controller. I'm still using the stock mini servos for the lockers and for the 2-speed. I have a Castle BEC right here. The only reason there's shieldings off of it and everything because all the electronics in here have been waterproofed. I do my own waterproofing on my electronics, so that's why I don't have a sealed box on my receiver. I don't have a sealed box on my ESC or any of this stuff because it's totally waterproof. It could sit in water for days and it will not damage it at all. I am using the new Castle Mamba X series brushed motor. This is a 2850 motor in this truck. To be honest with you, I'm probably going to pull this motor and I'm probably going to put it into Project Crew Cab. So it's with the Mamba Micro X, and I'm probably going to put a different motor into this truck. I probably want to put a more powerful motor. I don't know yet. ESC that I'm running. Yes, I am running a Tekin, first generation Tekin RS ESC that's been fully waterproof. So I'll probably put a Tekin motor in it just to be matching with the actual ESC. Because again, I do my own waterproofing. It works great that way. I never have a problem. I have been doing it this way with waterproofing for years now, and every single truck I've owned, I have never fried one piece of electronic submarining my vehicles. Not one. Never had a problem, ever. I even took apart the Traxxas micro servos and did some extra waterproofing on that and everything. And they just take it like a champ. Servo on this truck, I think can't remember the model, but we'll pull this out and I'll show you. I am running a Spectrum S6230 servo. Yes, it's an S62 servo that I'm running from Spectrum in this truck. The reason why I'm using it, it's low profile. I had it already. And yes, I did take it apart and re-waterproofed it some more. So I've never had a problem with it at all. It's been great. I do have a little aluminum servo arm on this, but again, all the rest of the stuff has been stock. So controller, the receiver, Fly Sky, FS, IA10. As you can see, 10 channels. Yes, I have 10 channels in this truck. I will show you guys the controller. So that's all the electronics. Like I said, stock transmission, stock axles and that. I'll flip it upside down and I'll show you guys the rest. And again, they're just earth magnets that have been glued to the posts and everything, and that's how it sticks it on. Alrighty, so we're gonna spin this. I'm gonna move that out of the way, and I'll put this on its side. Now the truck is still dirty because I haven't really cleaned it much, because, well, there's no point in me cleaning it. I cleaned it enough. This truck gets a thrashing anyway. So as you see, completely stock axles, completely stock transmission, axles here. The drive shafts are totally stock trx4s. This is a stock one too. It's just been cut and shortened. Rear, as you can see, is totally stock. And yes, these are threaded rods with the stock Traxxas trx4 end links. But now that I know that the truck's suspension geometry worked really well, how it is and everything, there's no binding, no issues or anything like that. All these links are coming off to get my new ones custom made. So the only modifications I've done to the transmission and to the axles, to be honest with you, is I have taken them apart, fully cleaned out the inside, filed them smooth and everything, and made sure the bearings fit perfectly snug. And then I completely packed front rear axles and the transmission full of high grade marine grease. That's all I've done. And these axles have been taking a beating over and over again, and I still have not broken anything. I'm still on the original set of bearings, so I have no complaints at all, as you can see. So the rear, as you can see, it's all been wired in. These are all epoxied and everything in too, so they're not going to get ripped out. As you can see, the license plate light. So once I made the bracket in the rear for the rear bumper, it's going to be great. Now the rear bumper I am going to be running on this truck is the same series bumper as the front for the K5 Blazer from RC 4-wheel drive in the rear. So it's more of a stock looking bumper with a receiver hitch, because I am going to have a trailer hitch on this and everything, because I'm getting a custom trailer made too, so I can actually get it pulled with this truck or any of the other ones. So that's what I'm going to do. So that's the truck, guys. I hope you liked this video. Sorry for the shakiness from the phone and everything else. I suck at editing, so I'm not going to do some pro job. That's why this is just one cut. That's all there is to it. Again, taillights have been modified too. If you guys seen the new bright taillights, you guys know that there's a little stupid little like piece of, I don't know, clear plastic through the clear lens here that goes right through. That actually has been cut and been sanded and filed, and then I glued these lenses together, so that's why it doesn't have that little dot in the center. So hope you guys like it, and stay tuned for the next video. If you have any questions, please feel free to post up and everything else. I'll try and answer your questions as best as I can. Alright, thanks a lot, guys.